Good morning and welcome to the garden. I have neglected being outside. I have had a super busy last week and a half and have not been out here for probably at least a week. I had a busy week at work, and then I had one of our best friends get married this weekend, and it was kind of like a whole weekend affair. So there is a lot to get done in this garden today. This is going to be kind of a mixture of a garden vlog, a garden harvest, and then what I am going to do with everything I harvest. Some things will be for dinner tonight, and some things will be preserved. I'm going to do a little bit of freeze drying. I don't know even all what's out here, so we're just going to make our way around and see what all we can get. I am starting with this chamomile. It is flowered beautifully. I cannot believe how much chamomile I have gotten this year. We are going to be drinking fresh chamomile tea for months, which I'm super excited about that. These little flowers are so pretty. Chamomile tea, if you've never had it, kind of tastes like apple-y almost. I do sweeten it with honey, but you don't have to if that's not your thing. It's also really good with like a little bit of half and half or oat milk. I also have a ton of weeding to do. So I've been trying to tackle about one bed every time I'm out here, but like I said, I haven't been out for a while. So I'm hoping to get at least 2 to 3 beds done today. I have several calendula in the garden that are about to bloom. Look how much chamomile is over here. Look at all of that chamomile. The next thing we're going to tackle is the berries. I have been harvesting ripe berries out of here for about a week now. Most of them are pretty small, but they're super sweet and delicious. Just a bigger one a little bit. Something got that one. I'll give that one to the chickens. Also, side note to the zucchini, I have had it with these stinking cucumber beetles. They destroyed my cucumber harvest last year, and they're really going to town right now on my squash and zucchini plants. Look at all of them. They're just in here crawling around. I have heard of using some diatomaceous earth for that problem, and it's not something that I've tried yet. It's still organic, so I am gonna get some of that hopefully today and sprinkle that around and see if that helps my problem out, because I just completely refuse to give up my entire cucumber harvest again. And honestly, they're making my beautiful squash and zucchini look pretty terrible, and squash bugs aren't even here yet. So I have got to do something about my cucumber beetle problem. Next thing to harvest are these purple cauliflower. Unfortunately, these should have been harvested the beginning of this week, probably, because they are starting to bolt. These are still going to be delicious and perfect to eat, but you can tell that they're not a nice tight head anymore. These greens also, because I have not had a problem with those cabbage white butterflies and the caterpillars that come from them. I am gonna just wash these leaves and I'm gonna freeze dry them into a green powder because I think that's a super great way to get some extra nutrition into our diets. I'll just throw that into pretty much anything that I'm making for dinner. It's just gonna be a little bit of added nutrition and flavor. Cauliflower are different than broccoli. So cauliflower just give you one head and then they are finished. Whereas broccoli, once it is ready to be harvested, you don't want to take out the plant like this. You just take off the head and it'll continue to give you side sprouts. Cauliflower does not do that though. These are the purple moon cauliflower. I also have some broccoli that's ready to harvest. You can see this is not quite a nice tight head anymore. So we are just going to break that head of broccoli off. This is all good to eat, even the stalk. And then what is left here is gonna throw up broccoli sprouts. These are the gypsy broccoli. And this is what I mean by putting off sprouts. So they're just gonna be like individual broccoli stems. This year has not been as good of a year for brassicas as it was last year. Last year was the best like broccoli cauliflower harvest I had ever had. And I was hoping for another one this year, but I'm still getting some, so I guess I won't be picky. And then look how beautiful this purple sprouting broccoli is. Again, it really needed harvested. You can start to see a little bit of the yellow. These broccoli heads turn into yellow flowers when they bolt, and they're pretty. They're great for pollinators, but not so great for eating. These are still at a stage that I would eat them. Sunflowers are everywhere, but I also have a huge patch of spinach ready to harvest. Some of it has bolted. It got really warm this week. I did taste it. It is not bitter yet. So we're gonna go ahead and harvest all of this, and then the ones that are bolted, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out. We are definitely gonna have a big spinach salad for dinner tonight. The bolted plants, when I pull them out, I will feed them to the chickens. I love having chickens. They really go hand in hand with a garden and make it to where you have very little waste. Even if these plants had already gotten bitter before I got to them, the chickens do not care and they love to go to town on these plants. So that is a win-win. Another thing I don't care about in my garden is little bits of bug bites on these spinach. If I have some that really look terrible, I won't harvest them. But little bits of bug bites are completely normal for an organic garden, and they are not something that bothers me at all. You know that your spinach has bolted when it starts getting really tall, and then as it gets further along in the bolting process, it's going to grow this top of what is going to be tiny little flowers and then turn into seeds. We're going to go through and harvest our garlic scapes. So garlic scapes are what is going to form the flower of the garlic, but we want that energy to go into forming the bulb. So once this scape forms and it loops completely over, then they are ready to harvest. This means that my garlic should be ready to harvest in about 3 more weeks. All right, I have all of these. I still have a few that weren't quite ready yet, so I'll get one more harvest from them, but they smell absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to cook dinner with you tonight. We're gonna be using all of these things that we're harvesting, and it's gonna be so good. Next up is my first harvest of sugar snap peas. There are just a few here and there. And this is not anything I'm harvesting. These are my potato plants, and I just wanted to show you how pretty the flowers are. Some people pinch these flowers off. I have just always left them alone and not had any issues. But once those flowers start forming, that means that the tubers below are forming. I have a ton of beautiful oregano here that I am gonna harvest. It smells so good. Next up is some more herbs. This is dill. Herbs are one of those things that I think even if you're not interested in growing a garden, you should grow herbs. They're so easy to grow. These ones are actually volunteers from last year. They're really expensive to buy at the store, and they are just so flavorful and really make anything that you cook taste a million times better. And then over here I have some cilantro that's ready to be harvested as well. Cilantro usually bolts as soon as it starts getting warm, so if you keep it harvested this time of the year, then you're really gonna get quite a bit more out of it if you just make sure and harvest it like, I don't know, every 2 to 3 days. This obviously has not been harvested for a little while. Like I said, I have not been here in the garden for about a week. And the last thing I'm gonna grab from the garden today is some flowers to make a bouquet in the house. I'm also gonna grab just a few of these broccoli rapini stems that have started forming seeds. I just think they're really pretty and will add some interest to this bouquet. I like to just put in some random things sometimes that you wouldn't expect to see. I think that they just add a different layer of something to look at that's really pretty. I have an egg that is eating, I have a chicken that is eating eggs and making a yolky mess inside of my nest. Super frustrating. If you know what to do about that, let me know, because I've tried putting fake eggs in there. I've tried culling the birds that I saw eating eggs, but it's still happening, and I'm ready to, one, quit having my eggs be such a mess, and two, to get all of the eggs that are actually laid. All right, so this is what we ended up with. I washed everything and laid it out here to dry. I have a huge pile of oregano, lots of spinach, dill, and cilantro. These are the leaves from the broccoli and cauliflower, and then our garlic scapes, and we have our chamomile here. And then look at this beautiful bouquet I made for my kitchen table. We have the straw flower, I've got the snapdragons, the yarrow, I have some of that purple sprouting broccoli in here, and some of the broccoli rapini seed pods, and this Russian statice, and it's just gorgeous. So for dinner tonight, I'm gonna make like a wilted spinach salad with shrimp and roasted veggies all mixed together. It's gonna be amazing. And we're gonna make a marinade for our shrimp to get started with. So I just have a little bit of all of the herbs that I picked, plus a couple of the garlic scapes, and I am just gonna get this all chopped up really well. Actually, I'm sitting here chopping and I'm thinking I should cheat. I'm gonna throw this in my little bullet food processor after I pick all of the leaves off of these herbs. This smells amazing already. I know dinner is gonna be incredible. I told you when I was harvesting, but adding herbs to your meals, especially if you are cooking from scratch or even maybe new to learning how to do that, just elevates your food so much and adds so much incredible flavor. So these are all just gonna go in here together. And then we're gonna add some olive oil. You're silly. Some lime juice, some Dijon mustard, finish this off with some salt and pepper. And then we're just gonna give this a quick blend. And that is perfect and exactly what I was looking for. I have 2 pounds of shrimp here. These are large shrimp with the tails on but skins off or peels off. I am just gonna throw these in my bag here. They are thawed out all the way. I just thaw them in this strainer under cold water. And then we're just gonna take our herb marinade mixture here and add it to this bag. Oh, I guess I didn't have it all the way mixed. Oh well, it's gonna work. It's those garlic scapes. They did not completely mix in, but that's okay. I think they did for the most part. So we are just gonna let this beautiful green mixture sit for, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes. While it's sitting, I'm gonna start chopping up my veggies and getting them roasted as well because shrimp cooks extremely fast. This is what we're gonna start with. I have 2 heads of that purple cauliflower, 1 big head of broccoli, and 1 of those small little heads of the purple sprouting broccoli. Now I love to eat this broccoli stem as well. It has a lot of flavor. I think it has great texture. I know a lot of people just throw them out, especially if you didn't grow the vegetables because you don't know how much work went into it. But if these are veggies that you grew, do not waste any bit of them. If you are chopping them and you find that the stem is kind of tough on the outside, you can just kind of cut it down to the core a little bit and the core will be completely tender. We also really like to save like broccoli stems and use them as a dip for hummus. They're excellent that way as well. It is 5:17 and the weather says our biggest chance for tornadoes is between 5 and 7. So I am praying that I'm able to get this dinner made and we do not lose any power tonight. I don't know about you, but eating a cauliflower is much more appealing when it is beautiful and purple like this. It really doesn't have any different taste, to me anyways. I think it tastes exactly the same, but I just love to eat beautiful food. All right, I have the oven heating up to 425. I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil on my sheet pan and we will get the broccoli cooking, broccoli and cauliflower cooking. Alrighty, go ahead and load them up on here.
That's all I could get.
Perfect. You got the hiccups?
Yeah.
All right, we're just gonna season these up with a little bit of salt and pepper and garlic powder. And then we're just gonna roast them until they are soft and starting to turn a little bit golden brown.
Gonna be rich after this, since they're gonna turn golden brown.
Whoa, that was a lot of garlic powder. Whoops. Okay, let's stir that all over.
Smell it.
I know, it came out fast. That's okay. Good thing we like garlic, huh?
Yeah. We'll keep up the mosquitoes away.
That is true. Look how pretty it is. I have about 4 slices of bacon here. We are just gonna get this chopped up small, and this is gonna be used to make the base of our dressing for our wilted spinach salad.
What we're having for dinner, that what we just put in the oven.
We're gonna do a wilted spinach salad topped with our shrimp and roasted veggies. It's gonna be delicious. No, just one helper tonight. Perfect. Okay, we'll get it hot. While I'm waiting on my pan to heat up, I am just gonna chop up a red onion to saute with the bacon. I absolutely love dinner like this when a huge amount of it comes from the garden. It's just, one, it tastes amazing, but two, you feel, I don't know, like pride, because it takes a lot of work to grow a garden and to grow enough to be able to feed yourselves from it. And yuck, I got a bad spot in my onion, but that's okay. We'll just chop that part off. There we go. Anyways, gardening is a lot of work, but it's one that makes you feel super proud of what you accomplish when you can go harvest the garden and just make this healthy, nutritious, delicious meal for your family to eat.
Like that in that.
All right, now that this bacon is cooked, we are gonna take the bacon and onions out of here and just set them aside for a minute. And you wanna leave as much of the bacon drippings in the pan as possible. You're gonna add some vinegar. And some sugar. And of course, salt and pepper. And that is it. That is the dressing for our spinach salad. Now we want this to be warm when we put it onto the salad, but of course my vegetables aren't done and my shrimp has not cooked yet. So I am just gonna let this sit to the side in this cast iron skillet, and it should stay plenty warm. If I need to, I can reheat it a little bit right before we eat, but I don't think I'll need to do that. Those veggies are looking great, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that shrimp cooked. Now, typically I would do this on the grill, but like I said, it is getting ready to storm and I don't want to be outside in the rain. So I'm just gonna cook them really quick here on my stovetop. All you need is a medium-high skillet, just a little bit of oil because our marinade already has some in there. We'll let that get nice and hot and then we'll put our shrimp in. It takes 5 to 7 minutes to cook shrimp. It's super fast. And then dinner's gonna be ready. While that oil's heating up, I'm gonna go ahead and fill my bowl with spinach.
Did you make it?
No. I used that to make the shrimp marinade. You wanna put about as much as your family is gonna eat because this hot dressing does wilt down the salad and so it doesn't reheat well. But if you know spinach, you know that as it wilts, it really condenses a lot. So it takes a decent amount. Also, some of my leaves are huge. So I am just gonna rip them up and break them up a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna let Avery do that while I cook the shrimp.
There's lots of green sauce on there.
I decided to go ahead and just keep this on low heat over here so it would stay really nice and warm because I love it when my spinach really melts down a lot. That doesn't melt, when it wilts down a lot. When your shrimp, I don't know if you can see because the steam, but when it's, here, let me get some out of here. When your shrimp is nice and pink like that, that is how you know it's done. You definitely do not want to overcook shrimp as it will get really tough. Just like that, dinner is all done. We are just gonna add this vinaigrette to our spinach salad here. Give that a good stir so it all gets in contact with the dressing. I'm gonna pull that broccoli and cauliflower out now. It is nice and cooked and is so pretty. And I'm just gonna add that in here to that spinach salad as well so it gets all of the flavor of that dressing. We're gonna add our bacon and onions. Put some of that shrimp right on top. Hit it with just a pinch of salt, and that looks delicious. I cannot wait to eat. Thank you so much for hanging out with me as we harvested the garden and showed you one of the delicious meals that you can make with all of the food that you grow. I'm gonna bring you video after video like this summer, so if you like this, make sure to like and subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. I would love to see some comments and some shares, and just thank you so much for being here and for being part of this journey with me. Until I see you next time, may God bless.